English podcast.
From Learn English with Joy. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Learn English with Joy, the podcast that helps you speak real English, feel more confident, and enjoy the learning process. I'm Emily, and I'm so happy you're here with us today.
And I'm Chris. Whether you're listening on the bus, cooking dinner, or just taking a break, thank you for spending this time with us. Today, we're diving into a challenge that nearly every English learner has faced at some point.
Yes, we're talking about vocabulary. More specifically, why it's so hard to remember new English words.
You know that feeling. You learn a word, you repeat it 5 times, maybe even write it in your notebook, and then the next day, it's gone. Just disappeared, like it never existed in your brain.
I've been there. So many times. I remember learning the word hesitate. I looked it up, practiced saying it, even made a sentence. But the next day, blank. I couldn't even remember the first letter.
That sounds familiar. For me, it was the word confident. I'm not joking. I had to study it 5 different times before it finally stuck. I even said it out loud walking around my apartment like, I am confident, hoping it would help.
And the worst part is, it can make you feel frustrated. Like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I remember this?
But here's the truth. It's not your fault. It's normal. And the problem isn't your brain. It's the way you're trying to learn the words.
So let us ask you, is there one English word that you keep forgetting no matter how many times you try to learn it?
If you said yes, you're not alone. And this episode is for you.
Because today, we're going to share 10 simple and effective ways to help you remember English words more naturally, without stress, pressure, or boring word lists.
All right, let's start with our first strategy, learning words in context. This is one of the most powerful ways to build long-term vocabulary. But what does context mean? Context is the situation around a word, the sentence, the conversation, or the story where the word appears. Instead of learning a word by itself, you learn it as part of something real. Here's an example. If I just give you the word bank, you might think, is that the place where I keep money? Or is it the side of a river?
Exactly. But if I say, I went to the bank to deposit a check, now the meaning is clear. It's about money. That's context.
And when you learn in context, you're not just memorizing a translation. You're understanding how the word is used, and that makes it easier to remember later. Here's another good one, the word cold. In English, it can mean the weather is cold, but it can also describe a person, like, she gave me a cold look. That means she wasn't very friendly. I actually misunderstood that once. A colleague told me we had a cold meeting on Friday, and I seriously thought, should I bring a jacket? Turns out, he meant a meeting with a new client. Not warm or friendly yet. Awkward.
That's such a great example. Words can have many meanings, and context helps you understand which one is right.
So here's how to use this in your learning. When you find a new word, don't just write the word and translation. Write the full sentence where you saw or heard it. For example, he's generous with his time. This tells you how the word generous is used and makes it easier to remember later.
You can also try making your own sentence. It doesn't have to be perfect. Try something simple, like, my cat is generous with her fur, it's all over the couch.
That's a great one. Funny examples are easier to remember too.
So remember, learn words in full sentences, not in isolation. Context is your best friend.
Now let's move on to strategy number 2. And it's surprisingly simple. Write words by hand.
Yes, I know we all love our phones and apps, but sometimes the old school method really is the best.
There's actually a reason for that. It's called haptic memory, which is just a fancy way of saying memory through touch. When you write a word with a pen, your brain creates a stronger connection to it than when you just type or tap.
Totally. I used to write every new English word 5 times when I was a student. My teacher said, the more you write it, the deeper it sticks. And honestly, It worked.
Here's what you can do. Keep a small notebook just for vocabulary. When you learn a new word, write it down with the full sentence, just like we talked about in the last strategy.
So instead of writing just hesitate, tracks do something slowly, try, she hesitated before answering the question. That's so much better. It gives your brain more to work with.
You can also use colors or symbols to help organize your notes. Maybe write all verbs in blue, nouns in green, and highlight difficult words in red.
And don't worry about being perfect. Even messy handwriting helps you learn, because your hand, your eyes, and your brain are working together.
Another tip: keep your notebook with you. In your bag, your pocket, by your bed, wherever you'll see it. Just 5 minutes a day to review old entries can make a huge difference.
Writing by hand might take a bit longer, but that's the point. It slows you down and gives your brain more time to remember.
So, if you don't have a notebook yet, maybe today's the day to grab one. You'll thank yourself later.
Writing by hand might take a bit longer, but that's the point. It slows you down and gives your brain more time to remember.
So, if you don't have a notebook yet, maybe today's the day to grab one. You'll thank yourself later.
All right, let's move on to strategy number 3. Read out loud. It might feel strange at first, but reading words out loud is one of the best ways to lock them into your memory.
Why? Because when you say a word aloud, you're not just looking at it. You're also hearing it and feeling your mouth move to form the sound. That's 3 parts of your brain working together: visual, auditory, and physical.
For example, take the word hesitated. If you read it silently, you might skim past it. But if you say, she hesitated before answering the question, you'll feel the rhythm of the word and how it fits into the sentence.
Another example is generous. Try this sentence: he's generous with his time. Now say it 3 times, slowly and clearly.
Ready? Let's do it together. He's generous with his time. He's generous with his time. He's generous with his time.
The first time, it might feel awkward. The second time, a bit easier. By the third time, it already starts to feel more natural. That's the power of repetition.
And if you want to level up, try recording yourself. Use your phone to read the sentence out loud, then play it back. It helps you hear your pronunciation and notice small mistakes you didn't realize.
Don't aim for perfection, just for progress. The more you speak, the more confident you'll get.
So next time you learn a new word, don't just write it. Say it. Say it 3 times, out loud, with feeling.
Love that. And now we're ready for strategy number 4, immersion. That might sound like a big word, but don't worry. It's simple.
Immersion just means surrounding yourself with English. Like diving into a swimming pool, but the water is made of words, sounds, and everyday phrases.
The best part? You don't have to move to London or New York to live in English. You can create an English environment right where you are, even at home.
So how do you do that? Here are a few easy ideas.
First, change the language on your phone to English. That way, every time you open an app, check the weather, or read a notification, you're practicing English. You'll start to see and understand words like settings, update, download without even trying.
Next, try labeling things around your home. Use sticky notes to write English words on everyday objects, like mirror, fridge, door, window, phone charger. Every time you walk by, read the word out loud.
Another idea: create a 30-minute English-only time each day. That's 30 minutes where you only listen, speak, write, or think in English. No switching back, no translating.
You could watch a short YouTube video, read an easy article, or just talk to yourself while cooking. The key is English only.
Here's why immersion works. The more often your brain sees and hears a word, the more important it thinks that word is. Repetition leads to recognition. Recognition leads to confidence.
And even if you don't understand every word, your brain is still learning. Bit by bit, English becomes part of your normal life, not just something you study.
So again, you don't need to go abroad to live in English. You can bring English into your world, starting today.
Now, let's talk about strategy number 5. And this one is fun. Make funny examples or silly little stories using new words.
Yep. When you connect a word with emotion or something that makes you laugh, your brain remembers it better. It's science.
Here's one of my favorites. The word is generous. Instead of just saying, he's a generous person, I made up this. My cat is generous with her fur. She shares it with every chair, every pillow, and especially my black pants.
That's perfect. It's personal, it's funny, and it makes the word generous come alive.
So try this. Every time you learn a new word, write a short sentence or mini story using it. It doesn't have to be serious. In fact, the sillier, the better.
For example, let's say your new word is hesitate. You could write, I hesitated before eating the last cookie, but only for 3 seconds.
See? That's fun. That's memorable.
You're not just learning vocabulary, you're creating connections. And that's how learning sticks.
Let's move on to strategy number 6, using mnemonics. That's a big word, but don't worry. It just means a memory trick. A way to help your brain remember something by linking it to something funny, weird, or personal.
Here's a classic example. The word is dessert. Now, is it spelled with 1 S or 2? It's 2. And here's the trick. Dessert has 2 S because you always want 2 scoops of ice cream.
I love that. Your brain remembers pictures and emotions better than plain letters. So if you imagine ice cream and you feel happy, you're more likely to remember how to spell dessert.
Let's try another. The word necessary. It can be hard to spell. Here's a mnemonic. 1 coffee, 2 sugars, 1 C, 2 S. Necessary, necessary.
That's clever. And the best part is, you can make your own. Think of what works for you. It could be a rhyme, a silly image, or even a song.
If a word keeps confusing you, don't fight it. Turn it into something strange or funny. The weirder, the better. Your brain will love it.
All right, here's strategy number 7. And this one might surprise you. Talk to yourself in English.
Yes, really. It might feel strange at first, but it's one of the most effective ways to practice thinking and speaking in English, even when you're alone.
I tried this when I was learning French. At first, I felt a little silly. I was like, what am I doing? Talking to myself in the kitchen. But after a few days, it became natural. And actually, kind of fun.
Exactly. Here's how you do it. Just describe what you're doing, out loud or in your head. For example, I'm making coffee. The water is boiling. I need a clean mug.
You're not reading from a script. You're using real English in real time based on your life. That's powerful.
You'll quickly notice where you get stuck. Wait, how do I say this word? That's great. It shows you what to look up and learn next.
So the next time you're brushing your teeth or choosing what to wear, try talking through it in English. You don't need an audience, just your thoughts.
And who knows, maybe you'll enjoy having a little English conversation with yourself every day.
Let's move on to strategy number 8. And this one is more about mindset. It's time to stop translating in your head.
This is something many learners do, and it makes sense. Your brain wants to go from your native language to English. But here's the problem. Translating slows you down. It creates a delay, and it makes speaking feel unnatural.
Right? You're thinking in one language, then trying to convert every word. It's like writing with one hand and erasing with the other.
So how do we fix this? One great way is to start using an English dictionary instead of Google Translate.
Let's take a common word, like frustrated. Here's a simple English definition. Feeling upset because something goes wrong or doesn't work. And a clear example. She felt frustrated when her computer froze during the meeting.
That's clear, right? No need to switch languages. Your brain starts linking the word frustrated directly to the idea or feeling, not to a word in your language.
So next time you want to check a word, try using tools like the Cambridge Learners Dictionary or Merriam-Webster for ESL learners. They're made just for you.
The goal isn't to avoid your native language completely, but to think in English as often as possible. That's when fluency really grows.
All right, on to strategy number 9, using flashcards the smart way.
Flashcards may sound old school, but when used correctly, they're still one of the most powerful tools for remembering vocabulary.
Here's how to do it right. Each flashcard should have one word on the front, and on the back, write a simple English definition and a real example sentence. Not just happy equals joy, try, happy, feeling good or pleased. Example, I felt happy when I passed my English test.
This method uses something called active recall. It forces your brain to remember the word, not just recognize it.
We recommend starting small. Learn just 3 words a day, that's it. In 1 month, you'll know 90 new words. And that's amazing progress.
You can use simple tools like sticky notes, index cards, or even an app like Anki or Quizlet. Just make sure you write your own examples. That helps you remember better.
And here's a tip. Review your flashcards in random order. That stops your brain from memorizing the sequence and helps you truly learn the words.
So don't underestimate the power of a little card with a big idea. Flashcards are small, but they build strong vocabulary.
Now, it's time for strategy number 10. And we're ending on a high note. Make it a game.
Yes, when learning feels like play, it becomes easier, more enjoyable, and, believe it or not, more effective. Games reduce pressure and increase focus. And when you're having fun, your brain releases dopamine, a feel-good chemical that helps you remember better.
So what kind of games can you play? Try a word puzzle or crossword in English, or a spelling race with a friend who can spell 5 new words the fastest.
There are also great apps like Wordscapes, WordUp, or Memrise, where learning feels more like solving a challenge than studying.
The key is to find something that makes you smile while you learn. You can even create your own games, like matching words with pictures or timing yourself to use 5 new words in a short story.
And here's the magic part. When you're focused on playing, you forget you're studying. You learn naturally, almost by accident.
So go ahead, laugh a little, compete a little, and enjoy the process.
Because the best kind of learning is the kind you don't even realize you're doing.
Hey Alexandra, quick question. Is there an English word you just can't seem to remember, no matter how many times you've tried?
Oh, totally. For the longest time, I could never remember the word thorough. I'd always mix it up with though, or worse. One time I said throw up by accident in class.
No way. That must have been awkward.
It was. I said, he did a very throw-up job. Everyone just stared at me. After that, trust me, I never forgot thorough again.
That's actually a perfect example of learning through emotion. For me, it was the word comfortable. I used to say it like comfortable, slowly and painfully. People were so confused.
Oh yes, that word looks long, but sounds short. It's like comfortable.
Right. What helped me was hearing it in a real sentence, like, this sofa is so comfortable. Then I repeated it out loud 5 times until my mouth got used to it.
Same here with thorough. I learned the sentence. She gave the house a thorough cleaning. Now I remember the word and the meaning.
So if you're listening, what's your most forgettable word? The one that just won't stick?
Tell us in the comments. We'd love to know. And hey, we've all been there.
Thanks so much for joining us today. We hope you found at least one idea that made you smile, or made you say, hey, I want to try that.
Because at the end of the day, every small step you take matters. You don't need to use all 10 strategies at once. Just pick one, maybe the one that felt easiest or the one that sounded the most fun, and try it this week.
Maybe today you'll start writing new words in a notebook, or maybe you'll talk to yourself while making tea. Whatever it is, do it your way.
And remember, learning English isn't about being perfect. It's about being curious, creative, and consistent.
So give yourself credit for showing up, for listening, for learning.
And if you found this episode helpful, We'd love it if you shared it with a friend who's also learning English.
Leave us a comment and tell us which strategy you want to try first, or let us know what topic you'd like us to cover in a future episode.
And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode of Learn English with Joy.
Let's do a quick review of some useful words we learned today. We'll take turns, and you can say the definitions out loud with us.
First, generous, likes to give or share. Example, my teacher is generous with her time.
2. Frustrated, upset when something goes wrong. Example, she was frustrated when the computer froze.
3. Context, the situation around a word. Example, in the sentence, cold stare, context helps us understand the meaning.
4th, immersion, being surrounded by English. Example, watching English shows every day is a kind of immersion.
5. Mnemonics, a fun memory trick. Example, dessert has 2 S because you want 2 scoops.
6th, flashcard, a study card with word and meaning. Example, I keep flashcards in my bag to review any time.
7. Recall, to remember something. Example, I couldn't recall the word during the test.
8. Translate, to change words into another language. Example, I try not to translate in my head anymore.
Now it's your turn. Pick one word and try to make your own sentence with it.
And if you're ready for a challenge, try using 2 or 3 words together.
Leave your sentence in the comments. We love reading your examples.
And remember, every time you use a new word, you make it stronger in your memory. So if there's one thing we hope you take away from today's episode, it's this: you don't have to be perfect to make progress.
Exactly. Every time you try, even if it's just one sentence, you're growing. And remember, you don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. That's from Martin Luther King Jr., and it fits perfectly with language learning too.
I love that quote, because it reminds us that small steps matter. You don't need to know everything, you just need to keep moving forward.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are signs that you're doing something real, something new. I still make mistakes when I speak other languages, and that's okay.
Me too. But we speak anyway, because speaking is how we grow. So if you're listening right now, maybe you're on the bus or walking home, we challenge you to speak one sentence in English today.
Just one. Say it out loud. Say it to yourself, or whisper it if you're shy. Like, I like tea. Or, today is a sunny day. Or, I want to learn more English.
That one sentence is your step on the staircase, and we'll be right here, walking with you, every step of the way.
Thanks for spending your time with us. And as always, keep learning. Keep speaking.